Today, I'm going to attempt to rate the characters of Hogwarts Legacy in their own S tier list. I'll add them in there, and yep, you guys you gotta comment down below if you like this type of content. Let me know, because then maybe I can do more of it. So, the first one I have up here is Natsei. She is the African girl where she can transmute. She's an anti-magus and can turn into a Giselle. Overall, I don't mind running around doing questing with her, but I don't put her at the very top. I didn't think that the quest lines that I've done with her have been up there in the level of Hogwarts where it's going to do something more for it. Well, she went through a very traumatic experience. I am going to rate her up in the B. I don't quite say she's an A tier student or an S tier, but she's up there pretty good. Poppy Sweetie. Oh, you know what? I am absolutely enjoying the quest lines with her. I think going out there and destroying the poachers and doing all that, I've really enjoyed that. I think her personality is very good and it's very commanding in the game. So Poppy, I'm going to put her at an A. Not quite S tier, but an A. I did enjoy her little bit of it. Then we have Sebastian Swallow. Oh my God. There's so much with Sebastian. He's got his own character arc, but he is a very foreboding student, and he is not that great ultimately. I don't like really his quest lines because it leads down to this whiny, snivelly little kid that can't accept things out there, but that is part of the charm of playing his character. Really reminds me of Anakin in the Star Wars series where he becomes the bad guy. But ultimately with Sebastian, I know what happens to him. So it's unfortunate that his character arc is just one that does end, and I think it would have been nice to have a little bit more because of the way his character arc goes, and because he is he just whines about a lot and you got to slap him into space all the times. I'm putting him way down at a C. I honestly don't think he's that good. Amit Tankar. This is the Ravenclaw student. I believe this is the guy that gave me the telescope. He's probably one of the worst characters that I've seen in the game. He didn't really add much to the game. You do one quest with the guy, he's not really doing a lot, and his personality is just one that's not really likable. He goes down, way down as a D. Phileas Nigellus Black. I love Simon Pegg as an actor. I thought he did a very good job as Professor or the Hogwarts headmaster, Mr. Black. I thought he did a good role in that sense, except his character is not likable at all. Because he is a very strong, foreboding character, has a sense of accomplishment and a sense behind him. I'm going to put him at a C, not quite a B, but a C, and not quite a D, because he's middle of the road. He's a character that if you didn't have in the game, it wouldn't progress the story anyway. So I don't feel that his character actually made that big of an impact on the story. Matilda Weasley, the Granny Weasley professor. She's absolutely adorable when it comes down to it. She's one of the better professors ultimately, but she's got a very strong focus on what's going on there. However, without Mrs. Weasley, you wouldn't really progress in the game. Her likability is up there quite well. You can get along with her as long as you don't piss her off. So she does have that authoritative figurement. I would say she's probably up there with the B's. Not quite an A, but with the B's. Professor Fig. I absolutely adore Professor Fig. I think he did an amazing job, the actor that did it. I think without Professor Fig, this game probably would have tanked very muchly. I think Professor Fig is up there at the S tier. I really do. He's very understanding in the game. He has a very openness with the game, and I think he does very well to portray his character to your character throughout the game. Professor Rowan. The charms teacher. He's very quirky, very aesthetic. He's up there and very, very different ultimately for a character. However, he doesn't really push you forward. I don't really see the huge draw for the character. Do I put him down in a C? No, no, he's not quite the headmaster of black. He has a more charming personality than that. So I put Professor Rowan at a B. Professor Hecat, the dark arts defense teacher. She reminds me of old witch, someone that is set to retire, kind of phoned it in a little bit, but pushes you a little bit forward. Is she an A? No, I'm gonna put her at a B. Ultimately, she's not the most likable teachers in the game, but she's up there very, very well. Professor Garlic. I gotta say, Professor Garlic almost makes any player blush during the game. She is absolutely an S tier. She is one of the most favorite characters in the game for professors. She's up there, and the incognito of the innuendo that they do throughout the game with her is absolutely hilarious. I thoroughly enjoy every interaction you have with Professor Garlic, and I think she definitely has earned that S tier spot. Professor Sharp. You know what? He's the potions master. Did he pick it up? He's stern, but not really your friend. He's one of those characters that without Professor Sharp, I feel he would just disintegrate into the background. He would just disappear into the game. So I didn't feel that there was a huge connection with the character or anything like that. I have to put him down at a C, which is really bad. I have to put him way down there at a C. Professor Shayavate Shah. I'm horrible at pronunciations. This was the astronomy teacher. I thought she did okay for the few courses that you did there. Once again, I feel that she kind of disappears into the game though. You don't really run into her outside of the classes. It's neat. It's a cool thing. Ultimately, I once again I gotta put her down at a C. Professor Candace Oni. This is the mother of what's her name? Nassie? Natty is what they call her in the game. So trying to go off her actual name of the game. But Candace Oni, you know what? She's a very strong, a very motherly character. I think she does fairly decent in the game. Is she A tier? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm going to put her at a B. We got Deke. I absolutely love the house elf Deke. I think he's very good. I think he did very well for the role he stepped in. If I could turn around and do a little bit, it would be nice to have a little bit more interaction with Deke where you could up his mood by doing certain things for him. I've seen people sit there and go and make like a bedroom for the guy that would be ideally where he would stay, but they don't give that option in the game where if you did something for them, they would actually migrate to that area of the room, the room that you're in. So Deke is up there. Is he S tier? Is Deke an S tier? No, no. I gotta say Deke is an A. Nearly Headless Nick. It's very cool to see Headless Nick in there. However, Sir Nicholas here, I don't think is a very strong character. You see him in the hallways. I think he's a decent character overall. Is he an A? A B? You know what? He's a B. He's got that attitude. He's got the always there. When he's around, he progresses a couple storylines, but ultimately, he's pretty decent. Ranrock, the evil goblin of the story. He is so unlikable. He's so unlikable that he's an S tier. That's how unlikable they made him. I think they did a very good job with Ranrock. I think he's very unlikable. He's up there and he's a great villain. And I think they did an amazing job making him the villain. It would be nice to see more of them. I'm not quite close to the end of the game yet, so you know what, my thoughts will come down, but what I have seen of Ranrock makes me want to destroy him. And because of that, he is an S tier villain. Victor Rookwood. honestly, Victor is so flawed of a character. I'm putting him way down at a D. I hate. I didn't think he was a very good addition to the game. I thought that he was very flawed. He always had this sniveling, like, it's not something where like every interaction there is with Rookwood, yeah, they're a fight, but I don't want to be in those interactions with them. I just don't think that the fights, or as a villain, I don't think they made him a very good villain. I think he's just a poor character overall, and he just became that stereotypical villain. That's the problem that I have with Rookwood. Other characters out there, Gladwin Moon, the one that hates the demiguise statues, that teaches you Alamora. You know what? The fact that you have to go through all the demiguise statues in order to unlock lock picking in the game, I think that was a very bad choice with it. Gladwin Moon, ultimately his character is okay, but he's one of the lower tiers of characters in the game that you are forced to deal with. I don't think his character had a good two-dimension character to him. He is one dimension. He is only there to teach you lockpicking, and because of that, I have to rate him down at a D. Well, and I gotta say, there is the one, the only, the Three Broomsticks bartender, Senora Ryan. I gotta say, when I first walked in there, and it was it's a very strange scenario when you go into that. The Did they really add stuff to the story? They progressed it a little bit, but it didn't really do something there. And once again, because they kind of blend in the background of the story, I can't rate them very high, and I have to put them down at a D. It's not something that they really pursue me to go there or do anything, and plain and simple, I have to put it down at a D. And of course, I have to list the keepers in this as well. Sanbakar, I think he's absolutely the worst one out of them all, and he's down there in the D's, maybe an F. The fact that he used Abracadabra back a long time ago when he could have done many different spells as a professor, I think he just made the wrong choices, and I really did not like his character, even as a keeper, especially when he withholds the knowledge after everyone else has done all that. I didn't like his character. I think he's an F tier. Namia Fitzgerald, the headmistress at Hogwarts School. She was okay. I didn't feel any real solid connections with her. I I have to say, her trial was amazing, where you go through the Deathly Hollows with the different style of art in the game. It was a breath of fresh air. So because of that, I'm going to rate her a little bit higher, but I don't think she gets up to an A. I think she was a B. Isadora Monarcha. I didn't like her character. She was prissy, condescending, very foreboding for a character. I don't think her character was supposed to be liked, so because of that, I can rate her a little bit higher. Without her, the story doesn't progress. But ultimately, was she really a good character? I think they could have done a little bit more with her. I think you don't really connect with her other than you being a fifth year with the same abilities of her. I didn't think there was a solid connection with the character to your character. And because of that, I'm going to rate her a D. Percival Rackham. I thought he was an amazing character. He was probably one of my favorite keepers out of them all. You deal with them quite a bit at the beginning. Throughout all the pensives that you go throughout the game, you kind of get to know his character more and know that he's looking out for you, looking out for what's best, what he thinks is best. I'm going to rate him up as an A. Charles Rookwood, the descendant of Victor Rookwood. As a keeper, he was okay. I didn't think his character really pushed much of the story. And unfortunately, Victor and Charles, they kind of have that very lackluster, stereotypical wizard in this case. So I'm rating him down at a D. Well, that was a very interesting experiment. I've never really done one of these tiered things before, and I think it's fun to do that, especially for Hogwarts, where there is a ton of stuff in there. I know I missed a few characters in there, but trying to keep this under a certain length of time so it's still enjoyable for all to watch. Thanks for watching. I'm your proud Canadian Phoenix, Cinder Shadow, signing off here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again next time.